Hey everyone, Sky here to discuss Constantine, the movie. I'll talk about it. Starring Keanu Reeves, Rachel Weisz, Shia LaBeouf, Tilda Swinton, Pruitt Taylor Vince, Djimon Hounsou, Gavin Rossdale, and Peter Stormare, and directed by Francis Lawrence. Now, why did I call it Constantine? Because that's what he's named in the comic books. Why Constantine instead of Constantine? I'll never get that after hearing that for the first time. But they did eventually make a TV show I never watched of Constantine. And let's see how this movie goes. I am a little curious because I haven't seen it for a while. We start off in Mexico with two workers finding a powerful spear of destiny in Hitler's flag, and it causes him to be demonic until he's hit by a car. And that was a what the fuck moment. Suddenly he's alive, and I honestly don't get this scene. Why is it even in this movie? Maybe there might be more to it. I don't know. In Los Angeles, John Constantine, played by Keanu Reeves, performs an exorcism on a daughter of a family who are Christians by getting the demon out of her by using a mirror and dropping it on his ride, which is a taxi cab driven by Chaz Kramer, played by Shia LaBeouf earlier in his career, where he was a likable presence, and he may be the best character in this entire movie, in my opinion. Detective Angela Dodson, played by Rachel Weisz, believes in God and the devil believes in her because of her sister Isabel, also played by Rachel Weisz, committing suicide while in a mental hospital. And I thought when I saw this originally, I was confused about the sisters and who was who, but now it makes more sense. So it might be confusing for a first viewing of the movie, I will give you that. John meets with Gabriel, played by Tilda Swinton, in a downer role as an angel who is a half-breed who believes in killing and letting demons out of people, and these are bland characters with an exception to Chaz. But I don't know if I should like or dislike any of the characters except for Chaz. I like Chaz throughout the movie, to be honest. John fights a demon that is covered in bugs, and the effects on that creature I like the fight sequence. And then he meets with Papa Midnight, played by Djimon Hounsou, telling him he has something coming into the world until he runs into, and I'm going to do this in my best Keanu Reeves impression as possible, Balthazar. That's the best I can give you, I'm sorry. Balthazar, played by singer Gavin Rossdale, and he's a pretty damn bad villain. Angela visits John for questions, and Isabel and John was being an asshole about it, and she walks out knowing demons are after her, and they attack, and she goes on a bumpy ride against the demons, and all of this is not satisfying to me, which is a real problem with this movie in my opinion. John goes to Angela's apartment to perform a crazy ritual spell involving a cute little kitty cat, like one I used to have to travel the demonic world. And when I first saw this movie, I was worried about the demonic images as the reason for the R rating, but as I confronted it, it didn't bother me too much. But honestly, I liked the world of the demons, and the effects in that scene were pretty good. I will give it that. John helps Angela solve the demonic case of Isabel's death, and this movie is dragging like I'm getting bored half to death, and I might fall asleep. But we get to a scene where Angela is in the bathtub, fully clothed, as she sees the demonic world, and that scene is rather intense for the movie in general. John fights Balthazar and puts him into tiny pieces, and Angela is too stupid to go inside, and John punches Balthazar, and the fight is shot very badly. As Angela shows up, something grabs her, and she and John walk downstairs, and John gets help from Midnight and the chair, which he brought up earlier in the film, until Midnight refuses, and that was unearned when John gets the chair this time. Well, maybe it was earned, I couldn't really say, but John and Chaz come in to save Angela's ass in a fight taking place in the mental hospital where Isabel died. Chaz gets killed after Angela is almost resurrected by Gabriel, stops it and almost kills her and almost lets the demon out. And John asks assistance from Gabriel's boss as long as he goes to heaven and breaks Gabriel's wings off, and he stays on Earth as its protector. And Angela is saved, and John punches Gabriel in the face, and it ends with John and Rachel. You mean Angela, excuse me. Why did I write Rachel? That's where you got me. Maybe it's Rachel Weisz. That may be why I did that. Saying goodbye, and that climax was frustrating and fine at best. After the credits, John goes to Chaz's burial place as he becomes a half-breed, and that pissed me off. Because Chad should stay dead, and there won't be a sequel happening into this movie now. But don't get me wrong, I do like Shia LaBeouf in this thing. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 5.1 out of 10. There's some good in this movie, and there's some bad in this movie. I've already talked about it as it's average at best. This may be the best DC hero series unlike last week and next week's movie, as I get worried. And I talked about Tank Girl, so please don't worry about that. And I will be back next week with, here it comes, Jonah Hex. And until next time, go to hell.